Here is a Tecno Phantom V Fold 2, Tecno's second attempt on making a foldable smartphone. So guys, here with me is Tech City Explorer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and we're doing like an in-depth review about this whole new device. So to start with, Tech City Explorer. Well, the last time we met, we were in your studio talking about the comparison between the Samsung Galaxy
A54 and the A34, right?
Yes. No, it was actually
Come on 30 Pro.
Come on 30 Pro and Samsung Galaxy A55.
Yes.
So right now, that's that. Today we are talking about the Tecno Phantom V Fold 2.
It's a pleasure to be here in your studio.
Yes. So about this device, if I want to ask you, like, what is your most interesting feature about this device? What will you say?
I think the most standout features would be the AI features because it's basically almost the same as the Phantom V Fold 1.
Yeah.
So I think the main difference, the most noticeable difference would be the AI features and the accessibility features. Basically, the usability of this one just feels a little more modern and up to date, basically.
Wow, nice. So let's just go straight into the build quality, the body, and
as for the build quality, I got to say, like, the color is just my favorite. I'm a big fan of camouflage, and they nailed it with this. When it comes to like the texture on the device and everything about it, it doesn't feel like it's going to slip off your hands, even though it's smooth. But it still has that grip to it, probably because of the weight. It's actually noticeable. If you're coming from, say, a normal non-foldable device, you'll notice the weight. Yeah, you'll notice the weight would take some getting used to, basically. So I think the weight gives it this balance and grip in your hands. So, and then it looks very premium. It looks like it's made of like steel. And the build quality is excellent. The design is, in my opinion, beautiful. I know some people have their reservations based on the cameras, the camera module and some other things, but I personally love the design and I love the build quality of the phone.
Nice. I think it's actually more refined than last year's one.
True.
Yeah, and in terms of body ratio, it's also really nice.
They have shared some depth on it. So it's a little slimmer, which is impressive to see because this is their second attempt at a foldable. But okay, let me not put the but. I want to say there's still some foldables out there that are still smaller and lighter, but they've had a longer run at this. You understand what I'm saying? They've had a kickstart at this because they've been doing it for longer than Tecno.
Exactly.
So considering this is their second attempt and it's pretty much the same, if not slightly smaller than the Samsung Fold. So I think props to Tecno.
Nice. I personally love the design, but this whole big camera module thing that they keep bringing in day out is one of my major concerns. But all the same, well done, Tecno.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with the camera module, to be honest. For me, it feels manly. I guess for a lady, it might feel too masculine. But for me, the build of the camera cutout and the camouflage concept on it, it has this manly feel to it, which I really love and sort of relate to.
Okay, so if you were to grade it, what would you score it?
Design and build quality?
Yes,
I'll give it an A.
Wow, that's impressive. Impressive.
I'll give it an A.
Wow. Okay, now let's move into the display aspect of it. And the display is actually two, which is like the outer and the inner display. So, what's your take on them?
The display is impressive. I've used this for a while, like you said, and I've consumed media, watching movies, playing games, YouTube, TikTok, all of that. I've used both the inner display and the external display, and I am impressed. I'm not going to lie. I think even the brightness, the peak brightness on both has been pretty decent.
Yes.
So, and I think it has. If I'm not mistaken, I think it has about 1,600 nits of peak brightness.
Wow.
So that's actually very, very usable indoor, outdoor, anywhere. You understand, it covers. I know there are foldables now with 2,600 and crazy, but I mean, this does it. You really can't complain with this. Then in terms of the resolution, I think the both are really, really great. The external display here is 6.4 inches. As compared to the last version, which was 6.3. So it's a little bigger. It's a little bigger. And then for the internal display,
okay,
we have an LTPO AMOLED display, which has 1B colors at 120 Hz refresh rate. And it is 7.8 inches open, like I'm using it right now.
Wow.
As compared to last year's model, which was 7.6 on, folded. When you've opened it. And then it has 2000 by 2296 pixels.
Wow.
Yes, so that's massive. As compared to 1856 by 2160 on the previous model. So there's an upgrade in
terms of display.
Yes, in terms of the display. And then the external display has an LTPO AMOLED, same 1B colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, 1000 nits of peak brightness. It has Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, and it is 6.42 inches as compared to 6.3, like I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
And I think there's also an upgrade here, even though the previous model had 2600 nits of peak brightness. So I'm not sure why they dropped down. I'm not sure why they dropped this down. Maybe because they put in a lot more into it and they're trying to balance out the price range. Okay, I was actually coming to that because I saw the 1600 nits peak brightness compared to last season. So I was like, why? Yeah, I'm sure they're trying to cut costs. They still want to maintain the fact that you can get something this good at $1,100. And if they begin to pack it up with all the
good stuff,
they'll probably miss on that. They'll have to raise it up to $1,300 or thereabouts. And then there won't be much of a difference when it comes to picking this up or picking a Samsung. Yeah, so they really want to give you a reason to buy the Phantom V Fold 2. And the reason is going to be when you look at it and you can save $600, $700. Okay. Then that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Now, in terms of daily use, as you've said, how does it feel? Does the 120 Hz refresh rate actually feels like the 120 Hz?
It does. Not like what they've been doing recently with the Hot series and claiming they have 120 Hz when they are all 90 Hz refresh rates.
Yes.
This actually has 120 Hz refresh rate, and you can tell from the fluidity. It's very smooth. It's very easy. No matter how many apps you have open, no matter how many tasks you're handling at once. Nothing. I've never had a lag or like something is hanging or something like that. Okay. It moves very smoothly, easily accessible. Games move very smoothly as well. Funny enough, even overheating, I haven't actually experienced any overheating. Yes. Wow.
I mean, the touch sampling rate is actually excellent if games are moving smoothly.
Yes, it is actually. It is actually very, very cool. I've not tested out to see exactly what it works on when gaming. Okay. Yeah, I've not actually checked the
touch sampling rate.
The touch sampling rate in terms of gaming, but I'll probably get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but basically, for your day-to-day task and for a casual user and heavy user, it is excellent.
Oh. So what has that? I know it's kind of a funny question, but I'll still ask. In terms of the display, do you enjoy watching media in the outer or in the inner display?
Honestly, I have sort of gotten used to the inner display.
Okay.
Once you start consuming content on this 7.85 inches display, trust me, it's just difficult to get back to this. Because the truth is, you're not going to get the exact resolution of this display when you watch it like full screen. But still, you can get something way wider than what you would get on the cover display. So it still gives you more real estate. Oh.
Then about the speaker, which we forgot to talk about. When watching media, how does it sound?
No, the sound makes it immersive. I have felt like it's lacking in some cases. Okay. In some rare cases, I remember it was raining. Yeah. And I was maxing out the volume and I was like, I can't hear this. But when all things being equal in an environment like this, it's actually very nice. Oh. It I don't know how to put it, but it has dual stereo, but unlike other phones that you can tell is coming from the top and the you can't really tell with this. We just know you're hearing good sound. So they actually did good.
Wow, nice. You mentioned something about rain.
Yeah.
So does this device have IP ratings?
It is IP54, so that's useful for those of you who are a little bit careless. It's not something you immerse in water, but if you have like the occasional splash and dust, then it can handle that supposedly. Supposedly. So yeah, it is IP54 resistant. So
okay. So in terms of the overall display,
overall display, it's AMOLED display. It comes out really great. The colors, the contrast, saturation, everything, the color profile, skin tones. I think everything really comes in. I've enjoyed everything I have consumed on this.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of the display, I can give it 100% that, you know, I mean, it has 431 pixels density.
Okay.
So that's really large.
And also the inner display also has this bump.
The inner display, the crease isn't that bad, to be honest. It's very it's one of the most difficult things to get rid of in a foldable. And I mean, Samsung still has that issue till date, and they've been doing this for years. So I think I'm going to give props to Tecno, because honestly, if you don't look for it, you won't see it. You literally have to look for it and try and bend it in an angle before you notice that, you know, something like that is happening.
Yeah.
But if you're just using it, like, you know, doing whatever it is you're doing, you'll very rarely notice it's there.
Okay. Wow.
I think the only part of it I would complain about is the hinge. They have tried this time. I mean, you can keep it at some angles, but it doesn't really steady. If you keep it, sometimes you can find it to start like, you know, coming. If you keep it this way, it starts to close up. If you keep it at a certain angle this way, it goes open. So you literally have to keep it at the almost, say, 90-degree angle for it to stay. So I think, but it's an improvement from the previous one.
Yeah. I thought they said you can set it up to 45 degrees now.
Trust me, it will fall off eventually. It will fall off eventually. There you go. It will fall off eventually. 90 degrees I have seen to be
perfect.
The spot.
Okay.
45 degrees, I mean, it can, but I've noticed it eventually starts falling over, tilting over. Okay. Yeah. So I think this can be worked on in the next, probably the V Fold 3.
Yes. Let's move into the performance then.
All right. So basically, this comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is crazy. Like, base RAM. Then of course I'm not a fan of the
RAM extension.
But then it gives you another 12 gigabytes of RAM extension.
I like 24.
But, 24. But let's forget about the externally, the additional, right?
Okay.
Let's stick to the 12 gigabyte RAM it comes with.
Okay.
That's more than capable of running any smart device. Any smartphone, you understand? Yes. So it's very, very capable. And then it has the MediaTek Dimensity 9000 that it came with, like the same processor as in the previous one, which is very powerful still.
Okay. I thought it was 9,000 plus.
It's 9,000 plus, but I mean, it's just a minute difference, but all the same. Yeah, it's a MediaTek Dimensity 9000 plus on a 4 nanometer processor.
Okay,
and that's really, the 4 nanometer actually helps with consumption.
Yes.
Yeah, it means that you can use less battery. It helps with the power consumption of the device. Basically, it helps to optimize everything better. That's really, really cool. And most importantly, this comes with a Mali G710 MC10 GPU.
Wow.
So amazing graphics for your gaming and whatever. For those of you that like to play Call of Duty is going to move like water here. Sheng Sheng Impact, PUBG Mobile, all of those games are going to run like water on this.
It's
going to be, I mean, 120 hertz refresh rate. I'm sure it has a decent sampling rate. I've not yet confirmed that.
Okay.
But then I haven't had any lags or resistance when playing games or whatever I have done on this device.
Oh, nice.
So in terms of performance, this is a powerhouse.
Okay.
I have had the picture-in-picture. You know, it has a picture-in-picture capability.
Yeah.
When I'm doing research, I have 2-3 windows open at the same time.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I could have like a YouTube video open where I'm watching and comparing, and I have like spec sheets left.
Wow.
And I have my notes, so I'm taking notes, I'm getting research, and I've never actually had any of them lag or cause any issues. So yeah.
So that's like an all-in-one computer.
100%. Like, I would say this is something that anyone in the, say, writing world would really take advantage of. If you're a writer, a scripter, an artist, you know, any of those creative roles, this is one equipment that, I mean, really comes in handy.
Oh, nice. Then how about the Android version?
Yeah, this is Android 14. Promised 2 major Android upgrades. So you can get up to Android 16 when it comes out, and then it's high OS 14, iOS 14 Fold. It's a different iOS, because it actually does come with some extras
Oh, yeah.
In terms like when you go to the customization and personalization tab, there are so much as compared to the normal iOS. So yeah.
Then in terms of memory.
In terms of memory, are you talking about storage now?
Yeah, storage, yeah.
Yeah, it has 512 gigabytes of internal storage, but it does not have any external storage, which nobody should complain. 512 is more than enough for anybody using a mobile phone. And you can always have a Google Drive or Apple, whatever, anyone you want that you have, and you can always you can log onto that and have like your cloud storage to extend, which I still don't think anybody would need. I mean,
I also learned that this device doesn't have eSIM. Is that true?
Yeah, unfortunately, this doesn't, but it might just be a regional thing. It might be the ones coming to this region. Some people in other regions might have theirs with the eSIM capabilities. But yeah, for this particular one we have here, it doesn't have, sadly. But you do have dual SIMs.
Oh, why the segregation?
Like I said, they're probably trying to cut costs in some areas so they can meet up their budget line for the retail price of this device.
Okay. So in terms of the overall performance of this device, grade it.
In terms of the overall performance, again, it's one of those things I'm going to put right up there. I would have loved an upgrade.
Okay.
I would have loved, because I mean,
it's similar to last year.
9,000 plus was, I mean, a lot of other their competitions have all upgraded to something bigger, better.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see a little bit of an upgrade in that aspect as well. But take nothing away from it, Dimensity 9000 Plus is more than capable for everything. So in terms of the power, the processing, and all of that, I give it an A as well. It's actually I have had no concerns. It hasn't been dragging in any areas. I haven't had any reason to feel like something is delayed or stressful or whatever. So I give it an A.
Oh, nice. So due to your duration of use and with your movie watching, gaming, YouTube and the rest, how's the battery life like?
Yeah, that's one aspect of this that it has a 5,750 milliamperes non-removable battery.
Okay.
I expected it's going to be like, crazy lasting. But this is one thing you need to take into account. This has 3 screens now. Let's say one big screen and a second, So this consumes more energy, more battery than a normal device would. So in as much as it has a larger battery, it still consumes more than it would, with a normal device, with a non-foldable device.
Okay.
So now, with heavy usage, I find it didn't last as long as I would have wanted or expected.
Okay.
You understand? I find myself looking at it like, wow, this thing is draining already. But if you're not a heavy user, which is going to be rare for someone with a tablet, because this is basically like a tablet.
Yes.
Once you get into this fold, once you unfold it, that's as good as owning a tablet.
Yes.
And once you come into this mode, it's very likely you're going to be working, researching, multitasking or watching media. So all of that consumes a lot of battery.
Okay.
But if you're not using it that way, that intensively, then the battery does last a really decent amount of time. Yeah.
So for a moderate user, we can have like a day or 2?
For a moderate user, you can get a day comfortably. Okay. But if you're a heavy user, you definitely have to charge it within the day, which is not bad because it comes with a 70 watts wire charger.
Oh, that's
so it
fast.
Charges very fast. I think it can give you 0 to 100 in about 40 minutes or less.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah,
that's fast. So if you should advise them based on the battery performance, would you advise them to like increase the battery?
Honestly, it's not going to be so easy to achieve both. On one hand, I want them to make it slimmer. On one hand, I'm asking, make it lighter, make it slimmer.
Okay.
So if you now say give it a larger battery, it's going to be a really huge task for them to squeeze in, say, a 6,000 milliamperes battery on something really small. Because I think part of why you get this thickness is the battery.
Yeah.
So I think I wouldn't mind this battery and how it is right now with a slimmer device.
Okay.
But if they can accomplish it, then 100%, yeah, I would love to see, say, 6,000 or softwares that can help optimize the use of the battery for longer. So yeah.
Okay. So let's get to the main deal of the day, which is the camera.
Yeah.
I learned that this device has is it 3 or 5 cameras already, and they're all doing very great. You'll be using it, so
yeah.
Tell us.
This, I have mixed feelings when it comes to the camera.
Okay.
Because on first look, when you take pictures with it, it looks amazing, right?
Okay.
Looks like this is excellent. Everything looks sharp. But when you start to check, punch into the details, there's a lot of there's a lot that I'm not impressed with. Now, if it can be software, if it can be fixed with software updates, I don't know. If it's a hardware issue, I don't know. But many times you take a picture and you can find some parts of it in focus 100%.
Okay.
And you have other parts of it completely out of focus. Sometimes you even have objects that are not, like their shape has been distorted.
Oh.
So you could take a picture of like a ball, and then you later check and it's like it's oval.
Even with a steady.
Well, maybe for instance, like I took a picture of some snooker balls.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you have the one in focus is like very normal and sharp and beautiful picture, but then the other ones at the back, their shapes have all been distorted. Yeah, so I've noticed I had the same issue with the last one. It had like wobbly video and some small deficiencies. And I think that's the same thing here. But when you just take a glance, it's really cool. Like they look really good at first sight.
Yeah.
And night photography is perfect.
Okay.
Looks really good as well. And I mean, it does a really good job at night. I was actually very impressed with the night photography.
Oh, nice.
If I tell you some of the pictures I took with the night, you will say it's not night, you get. But it was actually really dark out. But then it did a good job at restoring the image and bringing in some light into it.
So what are the megapixels on the camera?
Yeah, so it has 3 triple cameras according to them, and it has a 50 megapixels main camera.
Okay.
It has a 50 megapixels telephoto camera for optical zoom.
Yeah.
And it has a 50 megapixels ultra wide camera.
Wow. All 50.
Yeah. So 3 really cool, necessary, non-gimmick cameras. Like we see on the other, non-gimmick cameras. But do they actually do an amazing job? Not really. But do they do something? Yes. I'm still testing it out, but overall, I think an average user would love it.
How about the selfie?
The selfie camera is 32 megapixels and it does take wide pictures as well. And it is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay. The main camera shoots videos at 4K, 30 and 60 frames per second.
Oh, nice,
and the selfie camera does 1080p, 60 frames per second. So
we can actually use it for a slow-mo video or something.
It's pretty standard.
How about the internal display? What's the camera size there?
The internal display has 32 megapixels.
Okay, so judging from the images, which will you prefer for selfie camera?
They both do great. Like I think the only difference is the screen real estate for you to
see yourself.
To see what you're doing. But apart from that, I think the same quality comes out of both. And even you can make it easier and you can flip it in a way where you actually use the main camera to shoot yourself. Yeah, so you can use the entire cover display as your sort of screen to see what you're doing, and then you use the main cameras for your selfies, which gives you a higher resolution. And for videos, especially content creators like you said, you get to shoot in 4K.
Yes.
So yeah, that works.
So you would advise a content creator to get this device?
Yeah, any creative in general. If you're a content creator, a writer, any creator, anybody in the creating field, I think it's a really handy device to have. Once you get used to the weight, it's a very handy device to have. Yeah.
Now you just mentioned something. Once you get used to the weight, now comparing this device to the likes of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and the likes of you mentioned Honor 6,
Honor V3.
Yes. V3. How do you think this device will cope with in the very long run? The Tecno Phantom V Fold 2.
I think it's right up there with them.
Okay.
But not, I won't say neck to neck or shoulder to shoulder, but I think it's up there.
Okay.
Now, it has a few things that sort of makes those devices you've just mentioned to be a little bit like a few leagues away from it.
Okay.
Like this needs a lot of software improvement.
Yeah,
as compared to the Samsung and the Honor, the UI here lacks the polish. Sort of, I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. The UI still needs a little bit of touch to really catch up to the Samsungs and the Honors of the world. And then the hinge quality of this as well, you understand?
Yeah.
It's not right there with Samsung and Honor as well.
I think the Samsung is thicker than this.
Yeah, I'm talking about like
the inch,
the fluidity, being able to position it with whatever way you want
Yeah.
to position it
Yes.
and all of that. Yeah, in terms of that, it has a very similar hinge design with the Samsung. Yeah, but the Honor has the best hinge I've actually seen on a device.
Oh, we
on a
actually
foldable.
forgot to include the Google Pixel 9 Pro.
Yes,
stuff.
and then this also has some notification issues. I've heard some people complain in terms of wearables.
Oh.
Like your smartwatch, its communication with the smartwatch is not, it doesn't give you all the information as compared to the Samsung and the, you know, so there's a little bit of restrictions with that. And then the camera. So in as much as it has the triple 50 megapixels camera, we have the issue with the zoom, like I mentioned, and then a few software sharpening, and you know, it's not 100%. It's not quite there with the Samsung and the pixels and you know all of that. So then the fingerprint sensor is another thing I would want to, you know, point out. It is extremely responsive. That's not my main topic right now, but the design of it, as I've noticed, I find myself trying to figure out where it is every now and then. So I'm sure when I get used to it, it will probably get easier. But for now, I'm going to point it out as something I have noticed that has been like a little bit off. So in case someone gets it, they won't feel like, you know, it's only unique to them.
Yes.
So yeah, these are the few things I can just say off my mind right now. That keeps this from being right there with the Samsungs and the Pixels and the Honor. So yeah, apart from that, this is actually very, very cool. And the most important aspect, what we shouldn't forget is this cost about $1,100 as compared to those devices which are like $1,600, $700, $800.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
So when you consider how much you're saving and what you're getting, I don't think anybody should complain with this and what it offers, basically.
Yes, and also we forgot to mention one important feature that they actually introduced into this, which is the stylus.
That's another thing. There are very few foldables that actually have stylus support. I think just two. So this right here makes this the third device in the world right now with stylus support.
Well done, Tecno.
And it's not actually a gimmick. It works very well. It works only with the internal display. It doesn't work with the external display. But it feels like you're writing on paper when you're using this. It doesn't feel like it's dragging or lagging. It's extremely responsive. Once you touch the screen like I just did, it said Bluetooth off, tap to connect Bluetooth. Like it quickly communicates. The responsiveness of it is excellent. I literally just tapped it and it noticed it's sending the information to the device. So there's that, and I think they did very well with this. It has many useful functionalities. You can take your selfies with this. Nice. It has the buttons here, so you can use it to, you know, take a picture when you position. You can also, you know, use gesture control. That I've noticed that works as well. And most importantly, sketch to AI, where you can scribble on anything, and then with an AI feature, you can now get a proper professional sketch, which is very useful when you want to make like customized wallpapers, or for like creators, like I said, for your storytelling, storyboarding, you know, all of that kind of thing. So
in conclusion, would you advise someone to pick this device, which is like $1 million?
Yeah, this is about 1.7 million. It's crazy.
To pick these over the Samsung and likes of Google Pixel.
If anyone is looking for a foldable and you are in Nigeria and you're not trying to use brand names, you're not trying to use a Samsung, or you're not trying to use a Pixel, you know, brand names, you're just looking for a foldable that can handle your day-to-day task. Like I'm talking about creators, like a blogger and all of that, everyone that needs something just extra screen real estate. 100%, this is the best way to save your money, because you're talking about 1.7 million here, and you're talking about 2.9 million naira with the Samsung V Fold. Samsung Fold. So I mean, that's a huge margin. And for what reason? What exactly are you? Missing out on?
What are the extra things?
Slightly better camera. Which I'm sure if you put them side by side, you might not really notice much of a difference. Slightly optimized UI. Which again, like I said, I haven't had any issues using this one. You have the pen capability.
What's the half?
So, I mean, 100%, if you're looking for a foldable device in 2024, and you don't mind the design of this
And the brand name.
and the brand name,
Yeah.
then 100% I say just save yourself extra money and pick this, because there's nothing, I promise you, there's nothing you want to do or achieve that you can't do with this one.
So you've heard it, guys. The Tecno Phantom V Fold 2. It's a very doable and affordable device in terms of the foldable smartphone space. So in this cheap era, do yourself some good by saving money. Forget about the brand name or anything. If you want to get like a foldable device that actually does everything, like everything, aside from small,
forget about those things anyways. Like it does, just forget about it. It does everything they would want.
Does everything.
Yeah.
But you're saying about like camera.
Like I said, those things are very minute and they'll rarely notice it.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll rarely notice it.
So you've heard it from the horse's mouth. So aside from that, this is a very doable stuff. If you want to go extra, like you say you don't want Tecno, I want to go extra. They are like the Samsung, the Honor,
Magic V3,
the Pixel, the Pro 9, yeah. And actually, they are like triple fold that are actually coming out.
Well, let's leave that one for now. that's a topic for another day.
So guys, that was it. Thank you very much, Tech City Explorer, for coming around. It's always a pleasure having you, and it's always fun. And guys, if you want us to talk about something else, like you have relative topic and want to see more of this collabo, just let us know in the comment section. And please don't forget to also check him out. He's doing great, amazingly. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, comment on his posts, and
don't forget to subscribe to Marshall James as well. And for the love of what we've done, give the video a like.
Yes,
would appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Until next time.
Till we see you again.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.